We're live.
Yeah. Welcome
Sick.
to Of the Devil. Uh, it's just us two right now. Some people might be joining later. We don't know. But we haven't gotten confirmation.
Yeah.
Look at the Jack Daniels in the background, Logan.
I am still playing farming. What?
Look at the Jack Daniels
It's
in the background.
that is in fact Jack Daniels. You are
That
correct.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, I forgot this is my You gotta be Sarah Logan.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
No shot, you're still on farming. What the fuck is wrong with
Oh, sorry.
you?
Um, um,
The basement. You sure you don't want another look at the crime scene? I cannot do this voice.
I'm all out of time. Gotta approach this from the other angle. The other angle.
The other a
Just fucking
the other angle.
You know, inductive versus deductive, flip the chessboard and all of that. Haven't you ever read a mystery novel?
I've seen many. I've seen mystery films.
Okay, please don't. That's a joke. Well, let's see if you paid any attention then. What killed David Asher?
poison.
No, his own hubris. Anyway, 10 points.
There's a point system.
So how did the poison get into his bloodstream?
He must have ingested it orally.
And how do we know that?
The medical examiner found no injection marks or wounds.
And if he had inhaled it?
Inhaled it? Why?
Leave the whys to someone who actually understands them.
I won't be able to understand anything if I don't have practice.
Practiced by answering my question.
I suppose it's possible. But highly unlikely. We would have found a delivery system or in the building, like an inhaler.
Right. An airborne poison is either shoved in your face or sprayed over a wide area. And no one around David has shown any kinds of symptoms. So all we're left with is oral intake.
Eliminating the impossible. What's next, Adonai?
Zhang's corroborated statement was that Asher didn't exhibit any irregular symptoms or behaviors until he started drinking that night. The police didn't find anything unusual in any of the food or drink in his home.
Except for his cup, the results were inconclusive.
Zhang was drinking from the same bottle and the same type of cup, but didn't get sick. We have to conclude that David's cup alone was poisoned.
That all seems logical and consistent with the police's theory of suicide. So, why are we down here?
Minus 10 points.
Back to zero?
David left the parlor and came back with whiskey and 2 cups. Zhang told us as much, and apparently the cameras upstairs supported her story.
Well, we have to conclude then that he got him from both. That he got them both from this bar.
This was a great place to end off, considering this is now a recap of what happened. Better, 5 points. Did you also get the poison from the cabinet?
The police have been in here since we left. According to their ARC's file, they didn't find anything that matches poison down here.
I'm pretty sure it's just ARC files.
ARC files.
Oh shit.
That's okay.
So the poison somehow went straight into his drinking cup then. I need to flip this around again.
But if you turn something 360 degrees, then you're just back to.
If I were the prosecutor, what would I want more than anything? Proof that David knowingly added the poison himself.
He wouldn't do that.
And you can make that claim because there's no video evidence to contradict you. How long was David off camera?
From 7:36 p.m. to 7:40 p.m. That's when he left the parlor to get liquor from this bar.
So if we had David on camera for those 4 minutes and he didn't poison himself in that time,
He would have the perfect alibi for the crime.
proving his innocence.
But Adonai, we don't have footage of that. There are no security cameras down here.
I think there are.
What do you mean?
This whole building is coated head to toe in Penumbra security systems, courtesy of Noble. Every console, every corner, every Android on every floor, it's all plugged into Penumbra. Except that.
That panel is...
Manufactured by Cotter Security Systems. Why would David put a console for a different security system in exactly one corner of his penthouse?
I've never given it much thought.
Well, it's been bothering me all day. But my curiosity alone can't scale a 64-digit wall.
You mean...
Signal hacking, or whatever you want to call it. Have you tried it before?
It is illegal and unnecessary. Father would not... He would not have installed the hidden cameras in his own home.
At the end of the day, I can't make you do anything. Well, actually, I probably can now that you're registered to me. But aren't you the one who wanted to prove his innocence?
Eliminate the impossible. I will need you to express verbal command.
Not like David can press charges against us at this time. Do it. Did you really need me to say that?
This is a record keeping, yes.
If you...
I've gotten past the 64-digit code, and I have found cameras. There are a number of them embedded in the room's walls and ceilings. As you theorized, they're on a separate network from the rest of the building.
Where are they feeding to, if not the Penumbra system?
Behind my hibernation unit?
A false wall in the back of a safe.
I don't understand. Where would Father possibly have a hidden system of cameras inside his own home?
Beats me. He was brilliant, and more than a little odd. Throw in a little money and odd becomes eccentric.
I see. I think.
I don't. The hell, what was he thinking? The hell was he thinking? What was he afraid of? Why didn't he come to me for... Time's short. Gather facts now and leave the computation for later. What's the story of this anyway? Some kind of fault in the foundation?
I don't know. I've never noticed that crack before.
Might want to get those eyes checked.
There's nothing wrong with my vision. This crack must have been created during my most recent hibernation.
How? Did David drop a weight a bunch of times over and over in the same spot? What did David even do with all this equipment? Dry his laundry?
Makes you so sure he wasn't exercising.
Did you ever see him use any of this crap?
No. But he must have used the weights when I wasn't looking. Since he promised me that he'd take better care of his health.
Sarah, these weights are all maxed out. David couldn't have put up numbers like these even if he was piloting the frame.
Don't be so sure, Adonai.
Pardon?
The following is a true story based on primary sources who were present for the event and its aftermath. Copenhagen, 1981, 8:10 a.m. local time. A towering man with the musculature of a world-class professional rugby player enters the global Dank Bay on Fredericksburg Lane. I can't speak.
I love the fact that you mispronounced bank.
He explains to the bank teller that he has a bomb in his suitcase and that he wants his gym bag filed with unmarked bills. A security guard approaches him from behind with a nightstick and swings. But the man simply catches the weapon and bends it into a twisted knot with his massive dinner plate-sized hands. When asked to describe the suspect to the police afterwards, the teller only had this to say: "That man was all muscle." And the rest of the bank heist proceeds without incident, and the man exits the building just as the police arrive on the scene when suddenly, his suitcase explodes. Just a smoke screen. Local officers quickly recognize the ploy and rush towards the door, grabbing each of the hostages as they flee while desperately searching for the perpetrator. What they find instead was a diminutive, frail, sheepish young man, barely 160 centimeters tall, holding a gym bag full of money with no recollection of how he got there. Renowned psychologist and trained hypnotist Dr. Werner Kurtzer wrote the following in his diagnosis: acute dissociative identity disorder. That's right, the man had a split personality. So great was the disparity between his two halves, and when they switched control, he physically changed, becoming taller, bulkier, and incapable of previously unthinkable feats of strength. So be careful when you say a man like father can't. But be careful what you say a man like father can't do, just because of how he looks on the outside.
Sarah, every single word you just said was false.
Huh?
Don't believe everything you read on the net. Car. The liquor cabinet this mystery hinges on. The police have been through it all by now, and they don't find foreign contents in any of the spirits. No poison to be found here? Well, not that kind of poison anyway. In which case, can I make you anything?
Well, if you're offering, I'll have.
Sorry. You're way underage, aren't you? 2 years old or whatever?
Technically.
Took that one a lot worse than I expected. Cheer up. Maybe you'll find a mocktail if you climb to the top of the ladder.
This is a rolling ladder, and a step ladder, not a ladder.
What?
Remember, a ladder extends, but a step ladder folds out.
And
It's important to know the distinction.
I bet my life savings that this subject will never come up again. Ever.
Is that foreshadowing?
I have no fucking clue. If it's for... I'll tell you this, it will be for a different fucking case. Which would be real...
That would be really funny.
So is this the original?
It was appraised and confirmed to be genuine.
At least you didn't get ripped off. I'm a Philistine when it comes to these kinds of stuff. What does an android see?
I see a meeting, or perhaps an encounter. Two apex forces of nature, two kings of the forest, the stag and the tiger. I think.
Great, I'm officially less cultured than the robot. Alright, let's refocus here. So there's some kind of hidden door behind your bed.
Essentially, though a bunk bed would imply a second or third.
How do we open it?
One moment. I see.
Got it open already?
I cannot open this door.
Why?
It's a Tethys Basics Sturdicure. I can't read.
That anti-hack feature in the name is real.
It's a closed system, added I.
The hell I'm supposed to do now?
Strange. There was an if-then toggle enabled in the security perimeter.
I don't follow.
When Father last adjusted the settings here, he made it so the door would never open. Hibernate.
And he made it so that I was the only one who could wake her up. Meaning this is a door that only I can open.
It'll be a 6-character password, some combination of numbers or letters. Hmm? Did you and your father have any influential moments in your life that revolved around a 6-letter word?
Me and my father? I didn't know my father. Nothing comes to mind. Is there a code word that he knew only I could learn? What do you think it is? Logan?
What?
What do you think the code is?
I don't know.
It's a 6-letter word. There's a lot of things it could be. Like Morgan. But that's stupid. I pressed delete.
You press delete.
God, there's a thing for making it on the first try. I pressed delete because I know it. Fuck you then. A-D-O-N-A-I. That's a fucking code. No fucking shot.
What? You need to put in Morgan first. You might need to put in Morgan first.
That's
No?
what it fucking says. That's the word. No fucking shot.
What have you been putting in?
I was putting in the same thing my caps lock was on. What the fuck, game?
He's sensitive.
Yeah, I guess. What the fuck, game? And like, it didn't even show me it was lowercase. It just put it in as all capital. What the fuck? I hate this. I hate this so much. Because there's an achievement for getting it first try. I know what it was. I'm fucking pissed.
That's annoying.
That's
very
so
annoying.
funny, though. It's fucking
It's
annoying.
opening. What was the password, Adonai?
You'd never guess. Did feel a bit out of character, David utilizing so much cloak and dagger tech.
Cloak and Dagger from hit game Marvel Rivals.
And I've definitely been struggling with the idea of him doing home improvement. But one step in here and it all makes sense. It's a panic room. Ah! Panic! You gotta panic in the
Scary.
panic room. Scary! Panic room is a place for rich people to hide in when people start bouncing bricks off their windows. They're typically not even on the blueprints.
So when Noble built this penthouse for one of their executives,
Someone slipped this into the mix, and it remained in Noble's blind spot ever since. All David had to do was repurpose it. Make sure you're capturing all this. I don't want to miss my one chance because of a discovery technicality.
I understand, but you didn't specify. My memory is flawless. I can't play back visuals, sounds, sensations, but I could give detailed reports on air particulates.
You mean you can smell?
Better than any human, and some canines.
So does it smell stale in here to you?
Stale?
It doesn't to me. Almost like someone's been in here recently. Almost like someone visits here frequently. Alright, let's try booting up the computer.
You don't think the console is password protected?
2 physical doors, a 64 digital code, and a half-ton Android, and a secret passphrase? If David set a password on his PC after all of this, I'm gonna go back to the morgue to have a word with him. Good. It's already signed in.
You're looking for camera footage?
I'd also settle for a note plainly stating that he feared for his life. What am I doing? Here. You search for video files. They'll probably be timestamped and formatted for short-range devices.
I have the subfolder. The cameras stream live data consistently, but the files are clipped at fairly regular intervals. Once every week, it seems. The most recent video file here has footage going back 8 days. It was accessed yesterday, at around 4 p.m.
You were asleep then, so the only person who could get in here at that time is David himself. Alright, let's see it then.
Of course, it's just that I am having difficulty.
Try but double-clicking it.
I've been trying to open the files from the moment I discovered them, hadn't I? But they are encrypted.
Damn it, David, you leave me enough clues to get this far, but you won't let me use your fucking computer? What's the brand on the encryption program? If I rush a subpoena, they might have a backdoor I could bluff them into.
These files are not encrypted with any commercially available tool. This appears to be Father's own work.
Shit. If David Asher handwrote the encryption on these files, there's no one alive who could. Hey, was Dawes just flattering you back there? Or is your processing power really that special?
Adonai,
Can you break his encryption? Yes or no?
with enough time,
And how much time would that be?
I would estimate it at 2 to 6 hours.
That's a 4-hour window.
No matter how sophisticated encryption is, still just a code that can be deciphered. And when deciphering any code, progress proceeds exponentially, which makes it particularly difficult to determine the amount of time required to complete the process.
2 to 6 hours. I don't have any better options. Get started.
I started 4 minutes and 23 seconds ago.
Finally showing some initiative. But you've been talking to me this whole time.
I have the ability to analyze data in parallel by utilizing subconscious processes, so long as the work required is rote.
So you're doing it in the back of your head.
Actually, I'm speaking to you in the back of my head. I can give you the decryption process my full, undivided attention, but I'd become non-responsive.
Hey, that's a pretty nifty feature. I'll have to keep that in mind. Alright, can you take this show on the road, or do we have to rip the computer out of the wall and find a battery?
I've copied the encrypted files, and we'll work on them as we travel. We can leave whenever you're ready.
Still can't believe David let me get this far just to shut the door in my face at the last second. But he did let me get this far. The computer's not the only thing in here. The cabinets are a lot less eye-catching than his computer, but knowing David, that's all the more reason to check. Lots of paperwork, bonds, holdings, a platinum bar. His birth certificate might be nearly as valuable. I can't imagine what people would pay to steal David Asher's identity. And down here at the bottom, a binder, Noble's logo on the front and in the middle. Enough pages to dwarf one of the phone books you see in period pieces. They're masking it in legalese, even on the table of contents, but basically, this is his employment contract. Hold on to this for me.
It must be very important if you're giving it to me.
It's certainly very heavy.
Was there anything else in there?
Expecting an updated copy of his will to show up?
It's a possibility, isn't it?
Maybe a corny old murder mystery.
A widely beloved and respected genre with over 2 centuries of...
There is something else. Your papers.
That Evangeline Morgan be given immediate and complete ownership of the android designated Sarah.
It's dated a few weeks back. Had he already made up his mind about all of this? If he had, why'd he hide this where no one else could find it? Was I just a backup plan? Well, at least we've got something a bit more concrete than Starling's word now.
Her word should be plenty, shouldn't it?
Not if people realize how precious you are. As a collector's item. We have yet to meet one person who knows what the hell you are. But Noble could have easily argued that you fall under private technology or physical holdings. Unless I had something like this.
It's good that you do, then. I'm glad that father wanted me to go with a friend of his.
Yeah. This will get me a huge tax write-off when I donate you to a for-profit college.
You could at least pick a charitable institution.
It's just an old saying. All colleges have been for-profit since the 60s.
It doesn't make me feel any better.
You can cheer up in the car. Hail us a ride to the coursehouse, priority.
There is an upcharge at this hour for priority transportation.
That's irritating, but I'd like to have more than just a few minutes to prepare once we get there.
The upcharge is a multiplier of 5.7.
I'll prepare on the way over.
Very good, Adonai.
Whew! Let's get this started. Yeah, let's get it started.
Okay.
What the fuck is still going on? What is return? Is it David that's been updated? Is it Sarah that's been updated? It's not Sato, it's not Fran, is it Morgan? It was Morgan. Do you want to wait a few minutes? Because Riley should be getting done now.
We should wait a few minutes, yes.
If that's the
In
case,
fact, I'm gonna go use the restroom.
I'm gonna go. Well, I'll sit here and talk to people. Mainly chat, because.
There is someone in chat.
Who?
Gregory.
Ah. God, I need to go to YouTube. Hello. Okay, that should be better. Alright. Sorry, I readjusted my mic so that I wasn't constantly spitting out noise.
Okay, I'm back.
Awesome, I'm gonna go take meds.
You do that.
I readjusted my mic, so you might want to also check stream just to make sure. I readjusted it so I wasn't constantly making noise over OBS.
Riveting stream content.
Alright. Hey Logan, are you back?
What?
You good?
Sure.
You back? Sorry, I do like that one. Every password is case sensitive, including the one with your face. Make sure to turn caps lock on. To use your face.
Yes. If you unlock your phone with your face, you better make sure to turn off caps lock. Yeah. I agree that if it shows it's capital anyway, it shouldn't be case sensitive.
Like, it's not the thing of like, I'm pissed that it's case sensitive. That makes sense. The part that I'm pissed about is that you didn't give me achievement because I fucking missed it because I typed in it case sensitive. Like, fucking.
No, like, did it show that the difference between case
Nope.
sensitive and not the cases? Then yeah, that's a problem, and,
Yeah.
and should be and that's a problem and should be reported. do we have the ability to report it,
I'll talk.
or at least see if it has been reported?
Yeah, I'll do that later. Probably after stream. Because that's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's
That's so stupid!
yeah,
Anyway,
that's
we'll just
like
get to-
genuinely.
We'll start, and we'll just get to the courtroom, and once we get to the courtroom, we'll...
Well, he should be here any second now. Does it excite you going to courtrooms?
What do you mean?
You don't feel the tension in the air as the audience murmurs amongst themselves? You don't feel the fiery sense of justice rising in your gut as the prosecution smirks at your ragtag assembly of witnesses?
Do you really think it's gonna be like some kind of movie where the good guys save the day?
Probably not. It would be nice if it were.
What's your deal anyway? Did David train you off of a movie marathon from hell or something?
We did watch films together, if that's what you were asking. Though he was rarely the one who suggested it.
The Rail of Riley. So you were the aggressor. What's an android get out of watching a flick anyway?
What do I get?
Why do you do it? What's your reason?
I'm not sure how to answer your question.
Never mind. Forgot what I was talking to.
I like the performances.
Sure, there you go. Got a crush on Humphrey Bogart or something?
He's a handsome man. But it's not the actors I like so much as their
My PC
their performance.
update, so that's why I'm late. I have to change still.
Cool. The truth is, besides father, I have very little experience when it comes to people.
I hadn't noticed.
I read the net, and I watch people, and what they share of their life. But it's also subtle, hard to follow. There are so many unspoken rules that could be taught, only learned, and I often struggle to grasp them. You're also complex, so detailed. But the characters on the screen are exaggerated, larger.
You are continuously cutting out.
That's Discord for ya.
Really?
The actors enunciate. Their body language is precise and meaningful. Their faces are bright and softly lit, and their eyes are. It's fiction, so these characters and their stories, they have a beginning, a middle, and end. And the people on screen don't ask anything of you except your intention. You can't disappoint them or make them feel awkward. You just watch and learn. What about you, Adonai?
What about me?
You like movies?
Yeah, sure. Back when I was a kid.
Really? Who was your favorite director? What was your favorite film?
It was a long time ago. I don't remember. Fucking autism coded. Because that is.
Okay, I'm actually here now. What the fuck did I miss?
Autism codedness.
Nothing.
Really nothing. We just explored the house. We're now in the courtroom.
Oh, it's trial time?
Mm-hmm. Things are quieter than I expected here at the courthouse. Though I've always felt courthouse is a bit of a misnomer. Government building is probably the best way to describe these towers. All-encompassing and impenetrably vague. 100 floors of officials and documents and paper-pushing queues, with a couple dozen rooms squeezed in along the way. Didn't think I'd be arguing in court when I woke up today. Didn't think my friend would be dead, or that he'd have thrust an android onto my lap either. I could just walk in there and concede. Emma would be irritated and more than a little confused. But I could play it off as an exercise in grief. The android would complain loudly, of course, but I wouldn't have to listen to it. Now that it's registered in my name, I could probably just order the damn thing to reset its memory. But I haven't done that, and I guess I don't plan to. Why? It must be because I have my suspicions as well. Sarah insists that David would never commit suicide, and I haven't actually stopped to ask myself whether or not I agree. David was rational, subdued, private, hard on himself, but not prone to emotional outbursts. So maybe that's why I'm finding myself outside a courtroom, prepared to humor and add suspicion before the state. Because I don't really believe David killed himself either. What's your progress bar at?
I can confirm that I'm making progress.
Well, shit. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm eating a zebra right now.
What?
No!
I'm eating a zebra.
Why would you eat a zebra?
They taste good.
It's been baked into a cake.
That's not what we meant when you're so hungry you could eat a horse.
No.
I'm eating a zebra cake right now. It's a zebra that's been baked into a cake.
Anyway.
Damn. It's close enough to a horse. But it would be difficult to summarize that progress in terms of a completion percent.
Give it your best shot anyway.
4%. Are you feeling confident in your case?
Markedly less so after hearing Matt.
Do you think the judge will be amendable to your argument?
What are you talking about?
Do you know the judge you've been assigned? Are they particularly lenient or strict?
Adjutants are always a coin flip, so... You do know what an adjutant is, don't you? Are you expecting to see a bearded old man with a robe and a gavel when we get in there?
Did I not?
Adjutants are androids, okay? With all the authority that entails.
I am surprised to hear that people are willing to accept rulings. Independence.
Rulings come from landmark cases in the higher courts. Those are passed down by actual judges, real people with decades of study and experience. But not every eviction case or traffic ticket that ends up in court requires years of legal experience. Sometimes all you need is a referee and a sentencing algorithm.
So androids are used to reduce the caseload?
Been that way for decades.
But how was a law that replaced judges ever enforced? Wouldn't there be injunctions? Stalling?
Judges did fight it for years, at every level, in every theater. But the public lost their patience for that kind of thing, that kind of obstruction during the 60s. The state needed to shred budgets across the board, and so judges that couldn't be replaced by years of legal battles were instead ushered into early retirements by the unrelenting force of our great nation's accountants.
And it's not controversial having machines determine sentencing for human beings.
Whatever controversy there is, it gets aimed at the machines, not the people who put them there. and the machines can't lose sleep over it. Besides, it used to be that even the most high-profile of crimes wouldn't get a court date until weeks or months later. Nowadays, most crimes are prosecuted within a single business week.
That's not rushing things?
It keeps people in my line of work on their toes, that's for sure.
I'm just surprised to hear that there's so much haste.
Don't they teach you about classical conditioning in Android school? You gotta feed the dog immediately after you ring the bell. If punishment doesn't follow the crime in quick succession, the lesson doesn't stick.
I see.
By the way, I'm playing the judge.
But if adjutants are so effective, why aren't they used in every trial? Why aren't they used in politics?
That's a logical question to ask.
And the answer is?
That logic only gets you so far when it comes to people.
Doesn't everyone want the courts to be as just as possible? If adjutants are truly impartial and unacceptable.
Everyone wants justice, sure. But there are other considerations to be had.
Such as? Such as?
Disgust.
What?
That's all people really care about. What all their morals boil down to. Just what they do or don't find disgusting. Only problem is, everything's more palatable when viewed through a screen. So when everyone sees the world through AR and cameras and no one ever gets dirt under their fingernails, you'd be surprised what you can get away with.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, therein lies the problem.
It's me.
Just a preliminary hearing, huh? You wanted to know it from the look on her face? But I shouldn't have expected any leeway once we stepped in the courtroom. Not with her.
What's the adjutant up there? Is it asleep?
It's loading.
It needs to load?
Don't be rude. Not every ad can afford to be decked out with decked out as extravagantly as you. Especially not those the state buys in bulk.
There's an audience.
You mean the gallery? That's nothing.
The galley.
It could have been a lot worse. Word of any trial in the case of David Asher's death must have spread like wildfire. Wildfire. Even a mock
Me when I
trial
say
like
the-
this one.
Me when I say the word that tries
Morgan,
to
are
kill
you
me.
okay? Your face is looking weird.
Detective like Reyes or London would get chewed out for leaking leaking things to the press. But uninformed officers have had little to lose and a lot to gain by dropping texts to their attentive friends in the media. And there's a lot of corporate plants, interns usually, preferably ones with modded eyes. It's illegal to film inside a courtroom, but this is the year 2086. Things are gonna get out one way or another. I don't like having my face on camera. I don't like attention in general. But I'm not such a coward that I'd skip David's funeral just because there'd be paparazzi outside of it. My pretty little likeness was gonna end up in the background of some tabloid photograph one way or another by the end of this circus. At least this way, It's decent marketing for my legal services.
What will happen once the adjutant finishes loading? How will the trial proceed?
With all those films you watch, I figured that you could extrapolate.
I'm asking so as to correct any misconceptions.
Well, not everything you saw on the silver screen is outdated. The court will come to order, and there will be a clarification of the charges. The defense enters a plea. If it's not guilty, the prosecution begins making their case.
That means calling witnesses to the stand, correct?
Mostly. Sometimes they'll testify virtually from a separate location. Depends on the security concerns surrounding the particular individual in the case.
What do you do then? Just sit here and watch?
Not if I want to get paid. I cross-examine witnesses after the prosecution are done questioning them. I can present evidence or witnesses of my own in response as long as I have the discovery backing me.
You said it before. Discovery means...
Just that I can't pull stuff out of my pockets and present it without any kind of context. I have to have proof that I acquired it legally during the course of my investigation. Most of the time that means having recordings or witnesses that can verify my investigations.
Which I could provide.
You didn't think I was letting you tag along because I liked you, did you?
And the jury? I don't see where they would sit.
The jury hasn't sat in the actual courtroom for years now. They have their own chambers, where they watch a feed of the trial's proceeding in anonymity. Fuck.
And that's not an issue? Don't people want to look someone in the eye before passing judgment on them?
You've got an old-fashioned sense of justice, don't you? But there's no jury at a preliminary hearing anyway. It's only meant to evaluate whether or not the prosecution has enough evidence to go to trial. A mere formality in today's day and age. With tools like optics and arcs, there's never any shortage of evidence to work with.
So all you have to do today is convince the adjutant?
Easier said than done. Adjutants lean heavily towards evidence over arguments. And right now, all the evidence suggests that David killed himself. It's gonna be an uphill battle, and I can't afford to stumble. I need to focus on establishing an alternative interpretation of the facts, and it needs to be solid. But I don't have a suspect, or even a motive for killing David yet. Anyway, I'll need to be sharp. Emma doesn't play nice enough for me to be anything less.
I think it's waking up.
By the way, I don't remember much. This is... This is the third
Maybe it's
lower
not
court.
waking up.
This third lower court is now in session. Adjutant 8084 presiding. I call to order the case of People versus Asher.
People versus Asher? What?
Do the people wish to make an opening statement?
No, Your Honor.
No point in bothering when it's just the adjutant here. Very well. Do the defense wish to provide to make an opening statement?
I get what you're going for now. I get it now.
Not at this time, Your Honor. Might as well ring the bell and get this shit started. If neither the people nor the defense wish to make an opening statement, then it falls to me to set the stage. My model name is Adjutant. My unit designation code is 8084. I'm a machine of an automated dependence, and I serve the state by presiding over silos.
Damn right you serve.
You might find yourself wondering why. What gives a machine the right to judge a human? A fair question, but the answer is simple. In every culture, in every society, no matter how it is worshipped, enshrined, or deified, justice has always had one defining quality. Justice is beautiful. like a balanced equation, like a golden ratio, like the Vitruvian man. Justice is beautiful. So what gives me the right? This gorgeous bod. Whatever, forget about it. Forget I said anything. I was trying to lighten the mood, but I can see everyone hates me. Do the trial without me. If they're guilty or whatever.
This is fucking stupid.
This is awesome. What do you mean?
Yeah, so when I gave Chris
Whatever. Whatever. I was trying to be funny, but whatever.
they're guilty. Screw this. No, I told Christopher, I was like, there's a robot that I'll let you do the robot voice for, but specifically you have to figure out how to do Robot Valley Girl. And he goes, what? I'm like, yes. You are correct.
Robot Valley Girl.
I do have a cup. Can I do Robotic Valley Girl? Like, what the fuck?
No, that is not. No.
That just makes it. Your
It makes
audio
you
worse.
sound far away.
Yeah, I know. It's just worse. Your Honor. Wait, what the flip? This defendant's already dead. Why are we doing this?
So true.
Is
So
this
true.
a demon thing? 'Cause I'll log the error if I need to.
No, Your Honor. This is a preliminary hearing to determine whether David Asher did, in fact, commit suicide, as he.
I get it. You want to make sure he wasn't cuckoo in the cranium before you cut up his will like a
Jesus
T-bone.
fucking Christ.
What? Oh, sweet summer child.
I didn't realize that adjutants were so lively.
They aren't. They're supposed to be austere and statuesque. Looks like we got served the most in need of repairs adjutant the court system could find. Whatever paper pusher we rushed to get this trial going must have wanted a little payback for their kindness. What's that look for? Could it be you're trying to size me up?
I actually hate this.
No,
Wouldn't dream
this
of
is
it.
awesome.
Wouldn't dream of it, Your Honor. One sec, my mom's texting me.
Yeah, keep those visors off. I want to
Good.
see those eyes.
Because if you have any doubts about my ability to run this trial, I could always enact summary judgment here and now. I'm sure you'd find my ruling fair and even-handed. That won't be necessary, Your Honor. I love how I'm switching between Valley Girl and, like, just monotone, which is really fun.
I think that kind of fits.
Yeah, she's much more of a character than I'm used to seeing up there, even counting all the flesh and blood judges I've met. But she's still just an adjutant. She follows the evidence where it leads. So as long as I can make a few adjustments for the occasional outburst from the bench, my plan's still workable. So, people, shall we get started with that first witness?
Right away, Your Honor. The people call Dr. Yumi Sato to the stand. I don't remember who this is.
This
was Aiden.
This was Aiden.
That's because you weren't here.
Oh,
That's-
'cause I wasn't
This
here.
is the one
Okay,
that was
then.
like,
I also
very
wasn't
close to
here.
Yeah, Logan, you got this. Oh, she's just like...
Sure.
She's like, cool girl. Oh, I guess.
It's Yumi.
Yumi.
Hey.
So how about
Perfect.
it, pretty lady? You swear to tell the whole and unadulterated truth to the best of your ability?
I do.
Please don't do Valley Girl as well.
No, copy. I think that's really funny.
Good enough for me.
Dr. Sato, you are in charge of the autopsy for David Asher, were you not?
I was.
And when did you make your examination?
I started last night. Well, technically, 1 a.m. would be very early this morning.
I think you can still say last night if you're talking about 1 in the morning.
Objection. The defense will have their opportunity to cross-examine until then. They should refrain... Oh, my bad. Let me reread that so that actually makes sense. The defense will have their opportunity to cross-examine. Until then, they should refrain from making errant remarks.
The hell? All I said was, yeah, what she said.
You go, girl.
You mean sustained? Don't get cute with me, counselor.
Thumbs down.
Being cute is my job. God damn, we've barely even started.
Thumbs down.
That seems pretty bad, Adonai. You stupid fucking idiot.
No.
No, who let the baby say cuss words?
We did, unfortunately. Credit. I've got $13,000 in credit card debt.
Credit
I just
card
heard
debt?
Reddit. I did not hear credit. I heard Reddit.
Reddit, no. Reddit card debt, no. No.
Your Reddit card.
Not my Reddit card, please. I've got so much Reddit gold on
You should
that.
try to avoid being a stupid idiot in the future.
Thanks for the
No.
tip. Shake it off. I'll get my chance to raise objections of my own soon enough.
Dr. Sato, were you able to determine the cause of death?
It passed away to that was not what the...
He passed away, dude.
He passed away due to respiratory failure.
Could you explain what that means to the court?
Oh my god, there's 2 Emmas.
Essentially, he wasn't getting enough oxygen to his... By the time he arrived at the hospital, he was no longer breathing.
What does respiratory failure look like? What are the symptoms?
There would be
There would be-
lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting, pale skin, and a bluish tinge on certain extremities.
And the condition he was matched those very monotone symptoms?
Correct.
In your experience, what are the most common causes of respiratory failure?
It can be caused by
Drowning.
injury or disease,
Drowning.
but the subject had no wounds or reported illnesses, and otherwise appeared to be perfectly healthy.
And what else could cause respiratory failure then?
It is also commonly seen in fatal drug overdoses.
Drug overdoses. Did you perform a tox screen on Dr. Asher?
Yes, but his tox screen came back clean. Whatever killed him wasn't something we've encountered before.
Wait, a clean talk screen? Clean? That's not
We're gonna-
correct. Wait, a clean talk screen? Clean? Dialogue will proceed automatically during your testimony, but you can still advance text faster if you want to with space or left mouse. You need to read carefully and wait for the witness to make a statement that sounds wrong. Then hit the call button to call their bluff. Testimony
Ace Attorney!
from the beginning until you call.
No, it's poker.
It's
Ace
actually
Attorney
more like
love
it's actually more
poker.
like Danganronpa.
Yes, this is like Danganronpa.
It's actually more like
It's Danganronpa, but good.
Yeah.
Danganronpa, but it's Yuri Death Note, so it's infinitely better.
Can't let this.
Well,
taste
it's not Danganronpa. It's already
I need to
infinitely
catch her
better.
mistake by the second it comes out of her mouth.
Oh, so this just is fucking Danganronpa.
Yeah, that's what I just... Because he was drinking that night. At least I'm not drinking, Brian. It has to be the clean tox because there should have been at least alcohol.
Yeah, I know that. By the way, there is a timer on
Whiskey.
this.
Wanna bet? Ow, my fucking forehead! That should hurt!
It's impossible for David Asher's talk screen to be clean, and we all know it. Since he was on camera drinking alcohol the night that he died. Ah! That makes sense. And that scared you?
The witness merely misspoke, Your Honor. As it plainly states on the tox report itself, Dr. Dr. Asher did have alcohol in his blood.
Did you just have a stroke?
Maybe. I'm so tired. But not at such a concentration as to be lethal. Company.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't realize the talk screen was clean. I just meant it didn't tell the attending physicians anything they didn't already know.
Well, overall, a little more nitpicky than I'd like to be, but at least I was able to balance the momentum more or less.
Shall we continue, Dr. Saito? If the tox screens were negative for pharmaceuticals and drugs, what caused Dr. Asher's respiratory failure?
During my autopsy, and I analyzed his blood and was able to isolate a foreign compound. So there was a lethal dose of the drug inside his body. It just happened to be a drug. That's correct.
I think you just read my line.
I don't fucking care.
I don't think
Okay.
so. I think we're all
No,
gonna get...
no, it was my line.
I think we're all
Yeah,
gonna
well,
get
yeah,
tired.
but it
Yeah, it
already
doesn't
happened,
matter.
so
Yeah,
it
it
doesn't
doesn't
fucking
matter.
matter.
If we don't at least pick a placeholder name for this substance, Your Honor.
The people don't object, Your Honor.
In that case, I'll put my creativity
Oh God!
heuristics to work coming up with an original scientific fitting name for the substance. A name like Omega. Omega 3.
That name is already taken.
Fine, call it Delta or whatever.
Delta, used in science to denote an unknown variable. Not bad, but not impressive.
Delta has other meanings when it comes to drugs, but yeah, our Delta matches no known public pharmacology or toxicology records. That being said, chemically, it does have all the hallmarks of a general depressant.
I know the feeling.
What? No, you don't. Shut the fuck up.
Did you know I'm
So it
depressed?
stands to reason that it would inhibit a similar effect on.
Your Honor, you're too cunty. There's no way you could be depressed. You say ingested. Why?
I eliminated all other possibilities during my examination of the body. He must have swallowed it, and judging from his stomach contents, it must have been a liquid.
Thank you, Dr. Sato. Shall I summarize things for the court?
Yes, please. I wasn't listening that closely.
That's a problem.
The victim died of respiratory failure. And his tox screen showed that his blood was clear of anything that could cause respiratory failure. Except for this unknown substance. The poison we've labeled Delta.
Well, that sounds like a textbook suicide. Shall we wrap it up here? Not
Shut the
quite
fuck
yet,
up.
Your Honor. This may clearly be a poisoning, but there's at least one detail about the case that doesn't feel like suicide at all.
Yeah, I didn't.
people shouldn't get ahead of themselves. There's nothing textbook about a supposed suicide that had a witness sitting there watching it happen.
As you say.
Well, now I'm lost. Was this poisoning a suicide or not?
That's the case, then perhaps we should give the defense the opportunity to cross-examine. Unless they're going to insist on testifying themselves.
How kind of you to offer! Ball's in my court now, so how do I counter? Emma's argument basically goes as follows. David ingested the Delta knowingly, and the Delta caused his respiratory failure. He died of respiratory failure, and thus committed suicide. During blackjack, every piece of information you learn deals you a card. Choose only the questions that are logical and relevant, and only press if you think a line of questioning is worth continuing. Or else you'll go bust and lose credit. Hover over the press to see the follow-up question would be. You can only win blackjack when you reach exactly 21. So don't press further if you're already there. And don't ask the wrong questions.
So it's Danganronpa, but the protagonist actually has brain cells.
With my cross-examination, I need to put a microscope over the weakest part of that argument. And hope that some cracks will appear under the pressure. Dr. Sato, you said the subject had to ingest the Delta orally. But how can we be sure about that? How sure are we about that?
Pretty sure. I mean, I could go into detail about all the cavities that I checked, but
But how can we be sure that the subject ingested the Delta knowingly?
well, we can't be sure of that. Certainly not just from an autopsy.
You said it must have been a liquid, yes? Would it have been a large amount?
Because of the concentration of the delivery solution, it could have just been a drop.
The kind of thing that could have easily could easily go unnoticed, yes?
Pause for speculation, Your Honor.
Withdrawn. Oh man, I wanted to jump on her case! Isn't it possible that he actually died from something other than respiratory failure?
You
Well, no,
fucking
not
dumbass.
really. But it is, in fact, a fact that he died because his heart and lungs stopped working.
Right, thank you for that. Dr. Sato, you're only able to even identify the presence of this Delta after hours of work. Can you really be sure that this never-before-seen chemical can cause respiratory failure?
Well, I have had time to run simulations, and they do give every indication that it would act as a depressant. Inject enough of any depressant and respiratory failure would occur.
And your simulations? You've only ran simulations? So you haven't tested Delta on an actual person?
No, I haven't. That'll be very difficult to do, given our extremely limited sample. Not to mention highly unethical.
Of course. But without such a test, you don't actually know for sure that Delta can cause any of the symptoms you've described.
Was there a question in that statement, Counselor?
You don't actually know for sure, do you?
No, not yet, anyway.
Seems like that's blackjack. Thank you for your time, Dr. Sato. We all appreciate
The
it.
world?
Oh, by the way, Riley, I want to mention earlier there's this password we had to do. It's the most bullshit thing I've ever seen.
Oh, really?
It auto-capitalized the letters, but it was case sensitive, so I had caps lock on and typed out the correct answer. Then it said I was wrong. And I was like, what the fuck? No, I'm not.
Not wrong.
So it's a
No, I'm not.
it's a font that auto capitalizes it, so there's no way of differentiating. So I'm like, that's something that should be reported
Yeah, that's
because there's zero
interesting.
way of
That's very interesting.
case sensitive.
And by
It's not.
interesting, I mean stupid and dumb.
It does seem that we're still in the dark about many details regarding Dr. Asher's death, wouldn't you say?
Well, poisoning via the compound we're calling Delta is still the most likely explanation.
So there are other explanations for what happened?
Defense is calling for speculation, Your Honor.
It's not speculation when a medical examiner is attempting to explain the cause of death, Your Honor. The witness will answer the... witness will answer the question.
Well, respiratory failure could be caused by illness. If he had undiagnosed pneumonia or some other disease, his respiratory was weakened.
Undiagnosed pneumonia with his level of healthcare?
It is technically possible.
I'll take it. I have no more questions for this witness. Ugh, I felt weak, but I can't be picky when I'm stalling for time. Seeding doubt wherever I can, however I can, is just about all I can manage.
Detective Reyes, you were one of the leads in investigating this crime scene.
Lee, you got
Why
this
not?
one.
Huh?
You got Detective
I mean,
Reyes.
this is your.
Oh.
This is...
Yes,
This is not
ma'am.
your character.
I'm thinking. I'm trying to think of how Caitlin does it. And did you interview the
Yes,
EMTs who
this
first
bitch.
arrived on the scene? I did. They responded to an emergency signal from the home security console, located in the kitchen. What did they find when they arrived on the scene? The victim was unconscious on the floor of his parlor. He was receiving CPR from a witness, the individual who had called them. They were both airlifted to Gatesfield Memorial Hospital, and Dr. Asher was declared dead shortly after arriving there.
She's actually handling herself pretty well up on the stand. I half expected her to roll her eyes during the swearing in. But when you take in consideration her love for boot-heel authority, she might be right at home in the courtroom, the very seat of the state's power over the people.
The witness met with the deceased about half an hour before he fell ill, from 7:30 to 8 p.m. The two of them talked for some time and shared a drink. Shortly after, Dr. Asher became distracted, lightheaded, and eventually non-responsive. And during the same time period, drinking the same liquor, this witness exhibited no symptoms themselves. None. Through a collaborative effort with Noble Electronics Security Division, we researched the entire building, but we found nothing unusual in any of the food or drink on the premise, including the bottle that the witness and the deceased drank from. So what was your ultimate conclusion after investigating the scene? The whiskey bottle was clean, the witness's drink was clean. Only person who got sick was Dr. Asher, drinking from a cup that he had prepared. So it was our determination that David Asher committed suicide by poisoning himself.
She's pretty tight-lipped up there, but I think she's slipped up at least once. The police want to claim that they've eliminated every other possibility and covered every angle. But I know there are a number of blind spots that they're not willing to admit to. Huh.
That kind of pisses me off that like pressing testimony is different from the testimony that she gave earlier. That's not. Sorry, I'm very Ace Attorney coded, and whatever they say is exactly what you press on. Dr. Sato's testimony was cross-examined testimonies were the same as what she said. Why is she different? Why is Reyes different? Fuck you, Reyes.
It's because she's a bitch.
Yeah, there was. No, there's not. Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
He went downstairs for a little bit.
Yeah, but he came back up with the cups.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna be honest.
What?
I'm gonna see if I can find a walkthrough.
What? No, pussy shit.
Okay, what do you think it is?
Let me read the shit again. What's our... No, first of all, do we know what our cards are that we can claim?
We have the 2 drinks, the upright, the down, and the...
And the poison?
Yes.
Okay. Drink from a cup that he himself poisoned. It's usually shit like that. Just to be sure, we scanned the kitchen, the lab, and the basement. Did they have access to the lab?
Yeah.
Okay. And there was no poison anywhere else. Let me give this one more read through. All I needed to point it out. Asher met with the witness at 7:30 p.m. last night, and by 8 p.m. he was dead. Okay, that's fair. He was the one who prepared their drinks. That's also true. And there was no opportunity for the witness to ever slip him something. Drink from a cup that he himself poisoned.
I think it's to how does he know which cup would be his? I think that's the one.
That's fair. Cause like how would they know which cup is which? Owie.
You can't make that claim. Not when the evidence record clearly shows the tests of David Asher cups were inconclusive.
Real.
The police can't claim he drank from a poisoned cup without first proving that his cup was in fact poisoned. You're talking a lot of sense, lady.
Now, Cooper, be honest with me. Did you look that up?
No.
Okay, there you go. We don't need to look it up.
I have watched it, so I know a bit about it, like quite a bit. It's just like, fuck. Does it resolve, or do you have a response, D.A. Rockford?
Testing on the deceased cup has been inconclusive so far, Your Honor. I don't dispute that. Though, I'd be surprised if the defense has any idea how else the poison could have possibly been delivered to Dr. Asher alone.
Not at this time, but that's the funny thing about burden of proof. It's not on the defense.
As we're all aware.
Right, we all knew that. I definitely knew that. Fucking Switch.
Real shit, Logan.
Now if the people are done bemoaning that pesky innocent until proven guilty issue, perhaps I could begin my cross-examination. Fire away.
I mean, you said it. That was her.
Fire away, baby. Baby.
Baby.
Reyes' testimony meant to show that David's the only one who could have poisoned himself. She'll be on guard and hard set against helping me. But if I keep her focused on eliminating other possibilities, I could make her point. I could get her to make my point for me before she even realized what's happening. The only person you saw on the cameras that night were Dr. Asher and the witness, correct?
Oh, shit. I forget this is me already. Give me a second. I have chips in my mouth.
I take a chip.
I take a chip
and
and
eat it.
eat it. Yeah. There was no footage in the house of anyone else.
Are there any parts of the house that aren't recorded by camera?
Sure. There are a number of rooms in the home's interior that don't have cameras in them.
So it's possible that there were other people there that night because cameras weren't watching every room.
No, that's not possible. The only way up to the penthouse is through the building's elevator or the fire escape stairs, both which are on camera.
By the way, he lives on like the 300th floor. Can you imagine if he had to go down 300 flights of stairs?
I'd do that shit for fun. And that still wouldn't get you past his front door, which also is on camera.
I would go up 10 of them.
No one besides the two of them was there that day.
Not about before that day, no, because they'd have to come in and leave.
Mm-hmm.
Detective, we've been doing a lot of assuming and reasoning in quick succession, so I'll ask this
I
plainly
really
for
hope
the
Caitlin
court.
gets back.
Is there any photographic evidence showing David Asher added something to his drink that night?
No. Seems he had already poured for the both of them by the time he returned to the parlor.
He had already poured. In that case, the next question needs to be when and what. Objection! The bottle was brought upstairs and he came up with 2 filled cups. How the fuck did he carry all of those?
Is he a fucking octopus? I don't think so. Emma's like, shit, you're right.
Oh, yeah. No, he wasn't an octopus.
No, that's right. That's
Detective
right. He
Reyes.
wasn't an octopus.
During the course of your investigation, did you find any samples of Delta in the kitchen or parlor?
No.
That was a fast answer.
Well, that was a pretty easy question. If we had found poison at the scene of the crime, that'd be pretty important, don't you think?
What about his lab? His bedroom? His basement?
No, and no. We didn't find Delta or any other unusual substance in any part of his penthouse.
Right, they never found any poison. No poison at all. What about if... At this point in the investigation, was poison found on the body of the deceased?
No.
He must have been searched. Did he have any capsules or vials, eyedroppers?
Didn't even have his wallet on him. Why?
Thank you for enlightening the court about this point, Detective.
What point?
Well, I think it's strange, don't you, Detective? Dr. Strange, and I mean, how could he have possibly
By the eye of Mama Coco.
Mono Coco?
without first
Mama
producing some
Coco.
poison?
Mono. Cool.
What? No! No! No!
Blackjack.
What do you mean, procure?
Where did it come from, Detective? The poison that you're so sure was dissolved in his drink. It can't have come from thin air. You understand? It had to have come from a container at some point.
Whatever it was in before, it probably evaporated. What? We can use this lawnmower for help.
We could use this. There's a lawnmower. Maybe we could use it to call for help. All of it? It only took a small drop
God.
to kill. Dude, that's my favorite line. God, I wish I haven't finished. I'm gonna be honest, Logan. I haven't finished that Danganronpa. I really want to see his reaction to that line.
It's. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't like. It was just like a regular reaction to them saying stupid shit because they have like the
Fair.
entire game. Because
Yeah.
they do the entire game.
Your Honor, are you going to ask them to keep it civil? No, this is really fun.
In a minute, sure. There wasn't any pill bottle in his bathroom or syringe in his pocket containing this apparently deadly substance. So how did he get it? Where did he keep it? And the police want to claim that Dr. Asher committed suicide because they established that his guests never had an opportunity to kill him. But they failed to prove that the victim had means to kill himself.
And I guess I'll be the one that moves things along. The Delta didn't come out of thin air, Counselor. Came out of thick air. And it didn't come from a syringe either. Dr. Asher was able to drip the poison right into his cup. Straight from the source.
Shit, that's way too specific to be a bluff.
Allow me to submit into evidence Exhibit G. This is okay. You can't. Sorry, this is just one thing that always upsets me about lawyer games, like detective, like court games, is that you can't just produce evidence in the middle of court. Everything needs to be known for both sides.
Hey, Riley.
You can't
Riley.
just do that.
Riley.
What?
This was part of our evidence already.
Oh,
Yeah.
what the fuck? When?
It wasn't added to our evidence. This is something we had to research when we were doing it. It's called the nanofacture.
Oh, so it's just presenting. Never mind. I'm not upset about it then.
Yeah.
I thought this was some like Ace Attorney bullshit. Like autopsy has been fucking
wrong this entire time.
Updated. Yeah. By the way, you have an outdated autopsy. What the fuck do you mean I have an outdated autopsy? Why didn't I get the new one immediately?
No, this was something we found when we investigated.
Okay.
Just when we
A piece of
you're good.
machinery found in Dr. Asher's laboratory. Sold under the product name Nanofacturer.
Ooh, I know this one. It's used in delicate scientific work to produce nanomachines, chemical compounds, and polymers. That's the same machine I saw when Dawes gave me a tour of the production floor.
Very good, Your Honor. It's a valuable tool in any scientific laboratory, and Dr. Asher was well acquainted with its use. As a matter of fact, he had a number of presets coded into it.
Even the android can see where this is going.
With just a few taps, he could reproduce any number of specific substances for his research. Or any other chemical his heart desired, really.
Do you think Randoc Mechanics would allow their product to be used to produce illicit chemicals?
Using the nanofacturer to make unlisted drugs does go against their terms and conditions. So Dr. Asher's warranty is certainly null and void. But they can't hard code their machines to prevent the production of a drug that hasn't been invented yet.
That's...
Dr. Asher died when his respiratory system failed because of a depressant overdose. For him, it would have been peaceful, like falling asleep. You see, he didn't need to commission a synthetic drug from some street vendor or order an exotic poison from overseas. He could produce Delta at any time in the comfort of his own home. A quick and painless death, readily available in under a minute at the touch of a button. Specifically preset 19.
Damn. I thought I actually had something for a moment there, but I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time. See, it just added a machine, which they added, like, oh, it's... Yeah, see, it would have actually been put up top if they added it at the beginning. Presets on compound identica, yep. But I was playing into Emma's hand the entire time.
Seems like we're done with this witness, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am. But before we move on, perhaps we should take a moment and put together a timeline of events as we know them. Not for me, of course, just in case someone else might need it.
Simple enough. We know that Dr. Asher left the parlor and went down to the basement at 7:36 p.m. That's where he got the whiskey and the cups they drank from. The cameras show him returning to the parlor to drink with the witness at 7:40 p.m. And of course we know that he fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. Any objections so far, Counselor?
Not at this time, no. The timeline you described is accurate as we know it.
As you say. With this latest piece of evidence, we know that Asher could have easily dispensed the poison directly into his cup by placing it inside the nanofacturer, activating the preset, and simply waiting 2 minutes. Easily accomplished during the 4 minutes he spent off camera from 7:36 to 7:40. Wouldn't you say?
Oop! A complete timeline of events. He had the means, he had the only opportunity, seems like we're ready to wrap up here now. Where are we on that loading bar of yours, Sarah?
Why didn't I?
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Well, counselor, are we done here?
Feels like we're at least missing one biggie here, folks. Namely, motive. Oh, right. I knew that. I wasn't getting excited to finish early or anything. I have a party to go to at 9.
Your party will have to wait.
You are a robot.
Adjudicator.
You are a robot.
No, Emma's too tired to like
Deal
keep
with it.
to deal with it. So she's just like, yeah, you'll have to put that off a little bit longer. This is a preliminary hearing, counselor. Our focus should be on the evidence. So
Just feels like an awful waste of taxpayer dollars to get us all down here for debate and not get to the truth of the matter, you know?
So I was hoping we wouldn't have to go through this next part.
What are you talking about?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court,
Ooh, new evidence, give me! This also isn't new evidence.
this is a recording of a phone conversation dated at 6:30 p.m. last night between the deceased man and a man he was in a relationship with. Yep, this is I know this evidence. A man named Isaac Porter.
Porter and David's breakup call. If Emma wants to present it here now, then the content must be relevance, Your Honor. Yeah, that's... What bearing does this recording have on the case at hand?
It establishes what emotional state the deceased was on the day he died.
Cool! Begin playback.
I want the tea!
Logan.
Hello?
Always so soft-spoken. Logan and Riley, you got this.
Isaac, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's wrong?
Don't know. Guess I wasn't expecting you to pick up.
Look at his phone! Look
What?
at Isaac's phone!
I guess I just can't see it.
Yeah, what about it?
It says on call Pookie.
Oh, it does say Pookie. That's hilarious.
Why not? Did you mean to call me?
Yeah, did. You gonna ask me how I've been?
Yeah. How you've been?
Christ, David.
What's the matter? Whatever it is, whatever I did, I'm sorry.
Whatever you did? That's alright, man. I'm sure you are sorry. I just don't want any more apologies from you.
I'm so... okay.
And I don't think I want anything from you anymore, David.
What do you mean?
I shouldn't have done this. This was unnecessary. My bad, man, for not taking the hints. With you, it's always better left unsaid, right? More efficient that way, so you can keep working.
Isaac, if I've been distant with you, or...
Nah, You haven't been distant with me, or cold with me, or anything with me for a while now.
Isaac?
Just forget it, man. Forget I called. Forget it all. Yeah. Let's just forget we were ever anything but strangers. That's all we are now, anyway.
Isaac, recently I've just been distracted. I know.
Nah, don't worry about it. Really, we're good.
Oh. Okay. So do you need anything? Or should I?
Where did you even get this?
All of Dr. Asher's incoming and outgoing phone calls were recorded by the building's Numembra system.
No? Not the correct
Huh?
word. Penumbra.
Penumbra.
Oh, whatever, pneumonia system. And the recording continued for several seconds after each call was ended for quality assurance.
Remind me to check the terms and condition on my next phone bill.
Shall we hear the rest?
Thought it'd be the last time. The last time I let someone. The last time.
It might just be a call, but it makes for pretty damning evidence at this point in the discussion. Emma's got her means, opportunity, and motive all lined up. So why is she looking at me like that? That was depressing. Can we finish this? Can we finish up without anything else that horrible? And Emma's never been apologetic in victory. So does that mean this is just pity?
There's no men here.
In the audience, some of them are like, "What the fuck, huh? Huh?"
They're like, huh? What the fuck? Did you guys see, did you guys see that? Did you guys hear that?
honey.
I'm see what?
See what? It's like a little
What are you
girl. and it's like,
What are you talking
Oh, yeah,
about?
honey.
What are you talking about, Justice? What are you talking about? Laurel, she was fucking scary there. I don't trust this woman. It's okay. You're just the gallery. It doesn't matter.
What
It's
the
not
fuck
like she'll
are you
kill
talking
or
about?
anything. I saw nothing.
Laurel, she's looking at me. Laurel, she's looking at me. Laurel, she's looking at me.
Meanwhile, next
Less than 2 hours before.
Morgan's in her monologue. That's the next one.
That's the next one. Him right there. Laurel, she's talking about me. Laurel, we have
What?
to
She
leave.
didn't
We have
say
to go.
anything.
We have to go.
She
We have
didn't say anything.
Laurel.
She doesn't have to. I can read it. I also like
It's
the fact-
above her head, like a text box. Less than 2 hours before Dr. Asher died, Isaac Porter ended their relationship over the phone. The court can make a reasonable assumption about what kind of mental state Dr. Asher was in last night.
That was a bad move, Miss Rockford. Then if people have nothing further to add, I've been feeling off my game all day. Caught between corporate inbreeders and ant brain protesters but pitting me here and now, that's all it takes to get my blood properly boiling. It's about time for me to call my first witness, no? You want to keep going after that?
What are you doing, counselor?
Just calling the ultimate silver bullet, rock solid, slam dunk witness a girl could ask for. Hey Logan, this is you.
Is here good? What does it matter where I put my hands? Does it matter where I put my hands?
Miss Starling, thanks for coming in here today.
Of course! Whatever I can do!
What is your relationship to the deceased?
Can I take
was
a hit of
his-
my meth first?
You're interrupting me during my overdose period.
I'm actually on schedule for my overdose right now. Can we wait a second?
I was his executive assistant at Noble Electronics. I would arrange his meetings, coordinate communications between him and other departments, that sort of thing.
Ultimate silver bullet.
Starling's the only play I have right now. The only stalling tool I have. You could say starling tool I have. I'll stop now. For now, I should just focus on getting as much information from her as possible. Whether or not it's useful, it'll at least buy me some time. While Jess was being sworn in, Sarah mentioned that the hard drive about 60% decrypted. Considering the rate Sarah's been going so far, there's maybe another hour left. I might be able to stall that long. If I talk real slow, I'd like to ask you a few questions about Dr. Asher. Please answer them to the best of your ability.
Right.
Dr. Asher was a well-known public figure, but he was well regarded professionally.
Of course. Dr. Asher's worked the bar for the entire automated.
Stay focused, Spearmint. Hagagaba! Gabubaba, my microphone fucking disconnected. Fuck that! Were there ever threats? Did people express any harm to intent to harm him?
Objection calls for speculation.
Intent? I feel like this is gonna be a sustained. Did anyone ever threaten?
Did anyone ever what?
I think you're just lagging, buddy.
Say that to Cooper?
Yeah, to Cooper.
Like, I mean, fucking fix my mic. Should probably stop leaning on the cord like an idiot.
I unplugged my
Oh,
second
yep,
monitor.
that would do it.
There were times when he was the focus of negative attention.
How so?
Dr. Asher was a favorite subject of many conspiracy theorists. With all his contributions to the field, it was easy for them to make claims about his. They say that his work was plagiarized, or that he was hiding illegal subcommands in the technology he had developed.
And people would contact him about these conspiracy theories.
Relevant. Relevance.
Whether
I have
or
to
not
yawn when she
people wanted
yawns.
to kill him? Well,
Withdrawn.
Miss Starling.
People would attempt to contact him, yes. But their messages were always too vague for the police to take him on, take action on. They would say that he belonged in jail, that he couldn't, or that someone should do something to shut him up.
Did they ever talk about hurting him?
Yes. But I never turned those messages straight over to the police. I've always turned it.
Yeah, I never put those in. I have like a record of like 5,000 of them right here.
I've always.
It's my little like dirty little secret I have. Yeah, I'm
That's fucking
seeing
weird.
that on record. Yeesh, who writes this stuff? One marked from 8084.
All those cases have long since been resolved, Your Honor. And none of the parties involved had had contact with David Asher in years. Police take harassment very seriously. Something you want to add, Counselor?
Just clearing my throat. May I continue? What did they just add? Starling's testimony. Alright, wait. Ooh, tall bitch.
Oh, oh,
She's
oh.
fucking tall.
oh. Oh, she likes raw salmon? She's a sushi girl. Okay.
Sign, Libra, self-assigned.
Self-assigned Libra is awesome.
Type, open, obedient, observant people. We're gonna ignore that bottom one. Criminal constraints in pigeons. Look, yeah, we hate
She's, you know, she's born a Virgo, but she identifies as a Libra.
Is that actually?
Yeah, no, she's a Virgo.
I mean, that's the actual thing people do. People with neurodivergency.
They sign.
Because if you believe in astrology, you're definitely neurodivergent.
That's fair.
Just clearing my throat. May I continue?
She just wants to be at the Libra. Libra is the second zodiac sign that's in September. Like it's the second. It starts the second half of September. She just wants to be born later. She wants to be born after 9/11.
You worked with Dr. Asher for many years. Did you have a
Except she's a
relationship
robot.
outside of work?
Except she's a robot. She wants to be made after.
Did you ever talk about anything besides professional concerns?
Sure, we've gone out on dinner or met on the weekends. I think he liked to pick my brain since he needed relationship advice a lot. Even if he didn't realize that what he was asking me for. I like to think that he knew he could talk to me, but
Did he ever talk to you, or to your knowledge, anyone else about hurting himself?
God no, never.
Do you know if he had any history he might have had with mental illness, depression, anxiety?
No.
When you heard the people argue that Dr. Asher had done this to himself,
I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
you're saying that you can't believe it.
Objection.
On what grounds?
Asked and answered, stalling, and also the people have documents that would be of interest to the court in this matter.
Juicy, what matter specifically are you referring to?
The deceased's mental health history.
You should not have that access. Emma wouldn't be speaking up if she didn't have something real. So what the hell is this about?
We have private correspondences that describe...
If they're private, then they should not have been obtained by the people without his permission.
He can't give permission if he's already dead, and we're well within our rights to obtain evidence as it pertains to his crime.
Convincing. Damn, I didn't honestly expect to stop her from admitting her evidence into the record, but as a hoping to at least slow her. Where are you on that footage?
77%. Approximately.
I need to buy whatever time I can, however I can, even if that means running out the clock as a punching bag.
I have here messages between Dr. Asher and a psychiatrist he was meeting with and speaking to for the past year. Along with paperwork detailing how his treatment was covered under his Platinum Plan.
Platinum.
I don't intend to air all of Dr. Asher's secrets here in the court. Hi, Isaac. Bye, Isaac.
Oh, okay, I guess.
But I really wanted that tea. But I am prepared to read excerpts from messages and transcripts from phone calls, which, when put together, paint a clear picture of the kind of stress Dr. Asher was experiencing and the dark thoughts he was struggling with.
Okay, so I forgot to ask, and I want to ask, so what do you think's gonna happen at this case, at the end of this trial? Do you think they're gonna find the killer? Like,
No.
Sure.
Like, what do you
Well, I
think's
don't think they're gonna find the killer. They're not gonna find the killer. They're just gonna prove that he didn't kill himself.
So, I have already told you guys there's a twist. What do you think it is?
No fucking way. No, she didn't.
I don't know. You tell me what you think it is.
No, 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 because he's heartbroken. Wait!
You think
Fuck you.
Morgan shot her? Him?
Morgan did not kill David Asher.
No, fuck you. It could happen. Because she's a sneaky bitch.
Transcripts?
God.
Phone calls?
We'll see.
I'll admit them into evidence, assuming there are no objections. You can't just fucking do that. You can't.
I'll gladly
You
object.
can't just submit new evidence.
On the grounds of foundation, where did you say you got this?
It was retrieved from his digital records. There's no reason to doubt its authenticity.
Even if I were to point out that David had a executive level 4 plan, not a platinum plan.
What?
Really?
Really? Yes.
Yes. Oh,
really.
sorry.
It's all there in the record.
This is easily explained. David had an executive plan that Noble managed for him. And he was also seeing the psychiatrist, both in person and over the phone. Your own witness has attested that he dealt with stalkers and was worried for his privacy. So it's easy enough to reason that he had a separate insurance policy he paid for on his own. Even if only to keep one thing out of Noble's grasp.
Sure, easy enough to make that assumption, but that doesn't make it correct. David used a separate insurance to hide this psychiatrist from Noble's spying? No, he was smarter than that.
Max?
David may very well have wanted a private psychiatrist, someone who didn't work for Noble, who would have his best interests at heart. But if so, he wouldn't have contacted them over the phone. Not when he knew all his phone calls were being recorded.
That's...
David Asher was well versed in having every aspect of his life overanalyzed by data-hungry parasites. Did you really think he would try and hide mental health problems from them with a second insurance?
Apparently, yes, since I'm standing here with evidence that shows exactly that.
Does it though?
Pardon me?
Yeah, I'd like to... What exactly are you suggesting, Counselor? Still not done decrypting?
Well, it's difficult to.
Right. What the hell? might as well swing for the fences here at this point. I'm not trying to muddle the issue or confuse the court, Your Honor. And I would never make outlandish, unsubstantial claims just for the sake of causing drama.
What are you?
I'm merely concerned that D.A. Rockford has been unwitting pawn in an act of corporate espionage.
She was on your tablet. What?
If the markets were to open Monday with people believing that David Asher, the man who programmed the brain of every noble android, was battling mental health issues for the last several months.
Objection, mischaracterization, foundation, all the rest? There are no corporate spies in this courtroom, counselor, and there are no boogeymen hiding under the bench.
Oh, thank God.
You shut the fuck up.
Thank God, I was scared of the boogeyman. David Asher
God.
was
Fucking
a
stupid.
once-in-a-generation intellect and had an extremely valuable human asset to his employer. I will say, she's stupid, but it's kind of a nice thing of, like, everyone else who's soft-spoken or, like, monotone, and then there's her, who's, like, the fucking in the trial.
I guess.
And his employers make enemies. And his employers make... and his employers' many enemies will do whatever it takes to destroy his credibility. Now that he can't defend himself.
And he was also whatever. You shouldn't even be here arguing this case in the first place, counselor. Now you're trying to call this the police's evidence gathering into question? All because you can't admit that for the past several months, your friend has been seeing a psychiatrist every Monday and you didn't know?
That is...
Sorry, but like... Did you still need me up here?
The witness will refrain from
Thumbs
interrupting
down.
when girls are fighting!
Thumbs down.
Yes, ma'am.
With how my luck's been so far, Sarah's progress bar is probably moving backwards right about now. And Nema's patience is wearing thin. This could be my last shot to create any kind of reasonable doubt. I'd happy to wrap up my questioning if the court will allow it. That seems cool with me.
In my evidence, Your Honor, will it be entered into the record?
I'd like to hear a bit more testimony before deciding.
That's fine, Your Honor. As you were, counselor.
At this stage of the game, I can probably only ask for one more question. Better make it count. So what could Starling tell us that no one else could? She hadn't called me this morning. I wouldn't be standing here. She only did that because... Miss Starling, we are all gathered here to try and figure out what happened to Dr. Asher last night. What happened to Dr. Asher? So please tell us, when exactly did he last? The last time you had contact with Dr. Asher, Miss Starling?
Well, that's pretty easy to figure out. Let me just... Yeah, it was last night around 6:15 p.m. We texted back and forth.
There are records of some texts, but they're flagged as work-related. Does the court really think they're relevant, Your Honor?
Relevant. The texting makes a big difference. This could very well be the single most important piece of evidence in the whole trial.
What?
I just got chills. Don't know why, though.
I'm a robot. I shouldn't do that. Must be a coolant leak. The defense doesn't know what they're talking about.
On the contrary, these texts are a vital piece of evidence that change the timeline of events as we know them. What we know happened to David Asher last night, generally speaking, but the order of events is critical, especially if Emma wants to make claims about David's state of mind. Okay, so let's see. Isaac's call was first. David's faint was last. Jung's testimony. Starling's texts. Yes, that's it. Thanks to Miss Starling, we've now got a much clearer picture of the night's events. And I was rooting for them so hard. And we know that David's messaged his assistant, Miss Starling, at 6:57 p.m. David is on camera with the witness from 7:30 to 8 p.m. He was declared dead not long after.
People don't object to that timeline of events. But we do question Counselor Morgan's reason for belaboring it? What?
Belaboring it.
I've never seen that word in my life.
Making it harder work, like be-labor-ing. It's...
belaboring it.
Yes.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, belaboring it. That makes
Yeah.
more sense.
One last question, Miss Starling.
Yeah.
What was the nature
Just
of the
hitting-
conversation
hitting
with
on that.
Asher?
Well, actually, we talked about you. And I wanted you to have his android. That android there. Putting his affairs in order, I guess.
It might appear that way. Can you specify what his instructions were exactly? How did he want this done?
Well, he wanted me to bring you to his penthouse and help you get set up as a new android. As Android's new owner.
Yes, Miss Starling, but when did he want this to happen?
Well, he said it was pretty urgent, and I should do it first thing Tuesday morning.
Tuesday?
First thing Tuesday morning. David Asher didn't like doing anything on Mondays. And was he going to be in attendance?
Well, actually, yes. He said he would work from home to help us. No way he intended for us to have that much trouble getting to. Oh!
To summarize then, half an hour after he already had his breakup and half an hour before his guest arrived, he was planning an appointment that would require his presence with you for next Tuesday?
That's right, he was.
Not something you would think to do if you were planning on dying that very night.
Yeah, you're right.
That's...
Your Honor, if David Asher was preparing for the week ahead, nearly hour before he passed, don't you think the people's assumption about his mental state ought to be re-examined?
That's...
Your logic is sound. Do the people have a rebuttal?
If the court will just allow a moment.
Sounds like an opening to me. If we assume that Dr. Asher was not suicidal, and therefore did not kill himself, we must then ask ourselves who else had the means, motive, and opportunity to take his life. Until now, we've taken for granted this idea that the Delta must come from his manufacturer from inside the house.
Hello?
Hello?
My mom called me, I had to answer. Not right now. But even if that's true, which it may not be, that doesn't mean that he was The one who used the manufacturer.
I deny.
Would you allow me one moment to confer, Your Honor? Sure. Why not? Why not throw away your momentum? In the middle of something, Sarah. I can't afford to let Rockford...
I gained access to the hard drive's files.
What? Seriously?
As I said, progress with this type of inscription is exponential. It will be difficult to estimate.
Right, okay. Do you have the footage from last night?
I have the file.
Have you watched it?
I thought you'd want to know right away.
Suppose it doesn't matter. Either this has our silver bullet and we've got a case, or it doesn't and everything falls apart.
It seems quite risky.
It's the least risky path to victory we have, seeing how it's the only path to victory we have. Screw it. Upload it to the court computer.
Yes, I deny.
Thank you for your patience, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
I'm awake, and I'm getting a pretty hefty chunk of video data for breakfast.
You're submitting security footage into evidence? New security footage?
The police corroborate the witness's testimony using the house's cameras. Security cameras installed by Noble as a part of a Penumbra's system that showed the parlor, the kitchen, but not the basement. During the course of my investigation, I uncovered a hidden security circuit buried in the deceased's own home system.
What?
The people say that Delta must have been in Dr. Asher's cup, because there's no other way for him to have ingested it. But we never saw him or anyone else put anything in his cup on camera.
Because he must have poisoned his own drink off camera.
Exactly.
What?
That's the only possible explanation, that he added the Delta to his drink off camera. He placed his cup inside the manufacturer, activated it, waited 2 minutes, then walked upstairs to his death. But I'm about to present the court footage retrieved from his basement. Footage that will show that by the time he retrieved the cups in the basement, it was already past 7:38. Meaning he didn't have the opportunity to poison himself. One clip of footage will prove all that? If it doesn't, I'm completely screwed. But it's not like I can lose a preliminary hearing extra hard. Anything other than a royal flush in here means I'm bust. So better to be the Joker who dances. The data has been entered in the court record. Sarah, show us when Dr. Asher entered the basement.
Yes, I deny. I will search for it now. Here.
On screen. That's the bar. The timestamp is 7:36. There's David Asher grabbing the bottle of Rose River and leaving at
That's 7:37.
just under the wire.
Just under the...
Oh,
Motherfucker! Just under the wire, as it were.
is that it then? I came this far just to... Wait. Did he have the cups with him?
Is there sound?
None at all. Keep going. If we had to go back to get the cups.
Counselor. What's that android doing on camera? It's at the bar. The android gave him the cups.
Shit.
That machine never stepped on camera upstairs. Not once. We don't know we don't know its whereabouts the day of his death. It could have poisoned the cup whenever it wanted.
Shit.
What is this? I don't understand.
Your Honor, have the courtroom cleared.
Understood.
Please, someone. I don't know what's going on.
Sarah, you need to shut down.
Please, tell me what I'm looking at. I don't remember any of that.
Do we have callers available?
Sarah, shut down now.
Adonai, please. Please, tell me what I...
That's an order.
Honk shoe. Me.
Is it off? Yes, it's off. I've seen this before. It won't do anything until I reactivate it.
We don't know that. We don't know anything about this thing anymore.
That's...
Your Honor. In light of this most recent evidence, the people would like to withdraw their charges against Dr. Asher and end this preliminary hearing. It has been made abundantly clear that David Asher did not commit suicide.
Very well. The charges are withdrawn and the defendant is free to go. Well, as free as he can be in the afterlife. This case is dismissed. Congratulations, Counselor Morgan. Yay, chalk it up to another victory for Morgan Esquire. Now all I have to do is deal with the shitstorm of the decade.
What the fuck? Okay, so, like,
Huh.
how the fuck was I supposed to guess that the darling little baby angel was gonna fucking kill her dad?
Well, I managed to prove that David didn't kill himself, and in the process, I proved that his android did. I proved that the android that had been walking around with me all day is capable of murder. Killer Robot, a true unbound AI with military-grade specs, and at least one death to its name already. So much for avoiding the public eye.
Thank you for coming here on such short notice, Judge Barrows.
Ha!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you got it, Riley, old lady.
As if I'm doing you some kind of favor. I didn't realize I had any choice in the matter. This isn't some bad joke, is it, Miss Rockford?
Is she there? Nope, not yet.
I'm afraid not, Your Honor. Oh, I like the adjutants. I always have. They deal with the criminal trials so that bookish, quiet, contemplative people like me can spend all day typing up arguments for obscure legal treats. That's what I like to do. Relaxes by watching action movies? Hell yeah, Grandma.
Air conditioning, espresso, reclining chairs, parking lots, noise pollution, mud, overspending on restaurants, expensive hotels.
Avoids overspending on restaurants.
Yeah, and splurges on expensive hotels. I don't like coming down here and dealing with all this heavy-handedness.
Once someone toiling away under the police state, think of the poor bureaucrats.
And I certainly don't like making rulings on anything as spicy as AI.
She can barely bring herself to say it.
And you, Counselor Morgan, you're the one it's registered to.
That's correct, Your Honor.
So what did it do, exactly? Torture an animal? Shut down a hospital? Crash a coin market? We have it on camera poisoning a man. Killing its creator. You mean Dr. Asher? That is... We can't hope to keep this quiet for very long. All we could do is try to wrap it up quickly. Let's make haste. Adjutant, do you have the case number?
Case ID is 24127. A docket number YT9843188282.
Oh, thank you. Can you repeat that?
YT9843188282.
I think I lost you after the first 8. I have it copied here. What are the security procedures for an incident of this nature?
A data quarantine is to be established around any network that the subject was exposed to for more than 66 seconds. All offending hardware is to be destroyed immediately, thoroughly incinerated at a minimum temperature of 3,422 Celsius for 30 minutes. That I think is too hot for, like, physically possible.
I think that's the point.
Sorry, Spearmint. There's nothing to be done. No debate to be had. This isn't even a decision. Sorry, Sarah. Not Spearmint. David gave you that name. You should at least make the effort to use it.
Well, that sounds very hot. Do we have furnaces that get that hot?
Of course, there are a number of industrial furnaces within the city limits that I could recommend. Sorry. Why should I be sorry anyway? I feel the request, favor repaid. I don't owe Sarah anything, especially not if it's killed by my friend.
Right, Morgan?
I'm sorry.
I was just saying how grateful I am that we have the procedures for this kind of thing all laid out already.
Yep, keeps things nice and simple.
It can feel somewhat severe going through these steps so quickly, but
But nothing, Your Honor. Artificial intelligence is perhaps the greatest threat to human civilization and the sanctity of life there has ever been. Any piece of software, big or small, no matter the vessel, if it can violate the tenets it was programmed with, it has the potential to cripple our nation in matters of moments. So AI is not like self-learning, it's able to mess with its tenets in this thing.
yes, I couldn't have said it better myself. Straight from the textbook, almost.
Well, I meant it. Monsters like that don't belong in this world. They should never have been born in the first place. Destroying them is a kindness. And if anyone's to blame...
Yeah. I'm robot racist.
To be fair, what she's saying is fair.
Alright. You guys aren't... Wait. Just a
Y'all
little
just
bit.
ain't. No one's blaming you, counselor. You couldn't have known you were in possession of an
I'm
AI.
talking too much. Probably just tired. It's been a long day, and I've had a lot of thoughts.
Stop.
Sorry, Sarah, whatever you are. You were just born wrong. It's not your fault, necessarily. If it were up to me, you'd get points for trying. Trying to be something more. Trying to be something at all. Or anything other than what you are. It was stupid, of course, and futile. And pointless, spending hours in front of a TV or laying in bed staring at your phone. Watching stupid movies and trying to paper mache an ill-fitted mask of humanity out of the scraps you could tear out of magazines. Practicing expressions and memorizing lines and trying to get something to take root and grow, desperate, knowing that it had nothing to feed on. Stupid.
Morgan? Oh, what was that, counselor?
I said objection.
And what are you objecting to? What are you doing, Morgan?
I'm a defense attorney. This is what I do.
I understand that you've been through a lot these past few hours, counselor. But there's nothing to defend.
On the contrary, Your Honor, I have to defend myself.
Pardon?
You say that this android Sarah is an AI because it broke its tenets,
Obviously.
and you believe it broke its tenets because of this newly discovered footage that appears to show it's committing murder via poison.
All true, and no laws broken on your part.
Here it comes. Never thought I'd be incriminating myself in the courtroom just to make a point. Don't you dare try and entrap me on this. pretty simple, actually. If the state is making the claim that Sarah is an AI, they're accusing me of committing a felony. Because I am the legal owner of that android.
What the hell are you doing?
If the state wants to charge me with owning an AI, I will not take that lying down. I know my rights.
Counselor, your argument is self-defeating. Listen to yourself, Counselor. You claim that Sarah is just an android, a product that will be obsolete in a year. But you've only known it for a few hours. You've owned it for a matter of minutes. And yet here you are, risking a felony charge to save it from being demolished.
Because you're wrong.
And I know you wouldn't care. Not unless this android was something special.
Look at us. Me arguing that I'm guilty, and Emma arguing that I'm a softie. It'd be funny if it wasn't so fun. You think there's no reason I'd want to save this android for destruction, other than feelings of personal attachment? I can think of at least one reason why I don't want you to turn Sarah into slag. One very convincing reason. Or one very convincing number.
What are you... What is that?
That number is Sarah's estimated financial value on the collector's market.
You've got to be...
I got it from an insurance evaluation algorithm. They're designed to lowball you.
That does seem like a reasonable incentive for you to keep your android intact.
It's a free country, Your Honor. I have a right to defend myself. And we have a free market, so I have a responsibility to defend my financial interests.
Your Honor, a trial like this would be... I'm not gonna let you turn this courtroom into a circus, Morgan. You can't spend the next half-decade bringing in expert after expert to testify on the philosophical distinctions between AIs and ads. Spiraling into appeal after appeal, all the while the media... Oh, this machine appears to have willingly killed a man. The public needs answers, now!
Of course, Your Honor. I have neither the desire nor the resources to go in a drawn-out battle with the state over what constitutes as an illegal machine intellect.
So...
The state says my android, my property, killed a man in violation of its tenets, so they want to take my property and destroy it. I'll prove that my machine didn't harm anyone. So the state will have no reason to suspect it's an AI, and I'll get to keep my property. Unlawful seizure thwarted.
Don't be cute. I feel a stomach ulcer coming on. Fine. You'll have your day in court, but it'll be one day. Tomorrow. Proof that this machine didn't kill Dr. Asher. No, proof that it couldn't have killed him. Anything less than absolute proof and I'll have that damn thing obliterated. You'll also be looking at a very real sentencing for the public unrest you have enabled.
Yes, Your Honor.
DA Rockford, what I'm asking you is just as heavy. Find the truth by the end of tomorrow. We can't settle for anything else. Win or lose, there can be no doubts about the outcome of this case. Yes, Your Honor. Now I need to go lie down.
Can I come?
You can power down. I'm robot racist.
So we'll save there.
Oh, there's still more game?
So, the twist that I was talking about, there's actually 2 trials in this episode.
Holy shit.
Um,
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
More homos.
That's
more,
part of the reason
more
why I haven't
homosexual
been.
game.
Yeah, that's why I haven't been playing. And I wanted to keep it a secret. That's why I was like, I'm not planning more sessions out ahead of time until we reach this point where it goes through. So yes, there are more. There's another investigation and another trial.
Fuck yeah.
So,
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
So, and we'll see what happens. And I'll tell you right now, we'll figure out who the killer is.
Yay.
Yay. All right, betcha.